Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show, Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com. My website is teamchicago.tv. With the EAA AirVenture 2025, I always try to do 2 or 3 shows from this event. I get to talk to some real great people. Got to look at some of the military aircraft, and I got to talk to a pilot of a U-2 spy plane. I mean, this is pretty impressive, I'll tell you that. So don't forget my email, teamdan45@gmail.com. I love to hear from my audience, and I love to get your feedback, what you think of my shows with the EAA AirVenture 2025. As we watch the opening ceremonies at the EAA 2025, the Misty Blue ladies skydiving team has left the aircraft as we look up. But let me give you some statistics. 704,000 folks came to the EAA in 2025. 2,543 aircraft were part of the show. 995 vintage aircraft, 910 home builds, 361 warbirds, and 101 ultralights. Approximately 6,000 volunteers helped put this all together. 901 media folks were there, and I was one of them. The Misty Blues all-ladies skydiving team has 12 active members.
So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, please stand, remove your cover as we turn things over for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go, Oshkosh 2025 AirVenture.
As I make my way over to Boeing Plaza, I stop by the Honda display tent, and I spot this ER1000RR Fireblade, the 1000cc inline 4-cylinder engine, 81 millimeter bore, 48 millimeter stroke, a short stroke engine, got programmable dual stage fuel injection, 4 valves per cylinder, and the compression ratio is 13.6. Now, I have raced Honda motorcycles. You know, I've raced motorcycles now for 54 years. And I would definitely love to take this bike out and do a track day. Maybe I'll send this show to Honda and let them know that I'd like to road test one of their CBRs 1000. And now we spot the Honda Acura ARX-06. This car follows in the footsteps of the ARX-05, which won the past two 24-hour races in Daytona, and is competing in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship Endurance Series. And you know, I know a lot about endurance racing. I've raced over 30,000 miles on motorcycles in endurance races. It's got a 2.4 liter twin turbocharged V6 motor producing over 670 horsepower. This hybrid system incorporates an electric motor and battery pack. The carbon fiber chassis was manufactured by Orica. This is a very lovely looking car. It almost looks like a Formula car with thunder. Honda has been at the EAA for now 20 years because Honda has finally created the dream Choice Zero Honda. After World War II, the Americans allowed the founder of Honda to build motor scooters. Then he built the largest motorcycle manufacturing company in the world, moved on to build automobiles, and now he is building, or his company is building aircraft. Every Honda jet uses cutting-edge technology to meet a variety of needs. Those of small business owners and entrepreneurs to medevac and special missions. The cruising range is about 1,500 miles and can cruise at over 500 miles per hour. Cost is about $5.8 million. Operating costs are between $1,200 and $1,500 per hour. And now we are in Boeing Plaza. And listen in to Wisconsin National Guard as they explain about this howitzer.
And my whole job is that I'll get a call from a forward observer or someone, and they'll say this is where we want the round, and then I can go on my computer and plug it in, and it'll tell me what it is based on what I ask it to do. Like if it's a high angle or a low angle, and then I can send it to them through the computer. Okay. And then they have a little tablet that'll light up. Yeah, of course.
Good spaces here, right? It's going to help you on the other side. What's it called? See how it's going left and right? But because you're our Honda customer, you get it. Yeah, it's getting in there, okay? You can help me spin the ring. Up and down, turn it up and right. You know what? I'll bet this weighs about as much as you. I bet we could fire you out of here. You think so?
Armstrong.
How much do you weigh?
80 pounds.
This is about 90. A little bit heavier. Give it a whirl. They'll let you in. 155. You have to do this once in a while, right? Get up there. You need this is a future job.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. You got helicopters over there too. I'll tell you this right now. Everybody here thinks the Air Force is the way to go. The Army has more aircraft than the Air Force.
You ready? Stand there and look at that.
Doesn't need to fill like 155. They have a bigger one.
How much does it weigh?
Next to this howitzer, we spot a P-40 Flying Tiger. This aircraft is in the correct markings of the Flying Tigers, which were American pilots that fought for the Chinese before the outbreak of World War II after December 7th, 1941. The Chinese were our allies before the communists took over in 1949. This aircraft has an Allison B-12 engine. It's got 30 caliber machine guns mounted on the wings, and the maximum speed is 345 miles per hour. And now we spot a transport plane. It looks to me to be a military variation of the Boeing 767. On the other side of the plaza, I spot the Pratt-Whitney Boeing 747 SP testbed aircraft. Pratt-Whitney is celebrating 100 years of engine production. You see a long line of folks waiting to go inside the 747. Pratt-Whitney built their first engine in 1925 with the R1340 Wasp engine. And now we spot a Constellation. The Lockheed Constellation is a propeller-driven four-engine airliner built by the Lockheed Corporation starting in 1943. The Constellation series was the first pressurized cabin civil airliner series to go into widespread use. Most were powered by 18-cylinder Wright R3350 duplex Cyclone engine, and I had a chance to talk to the pilot, Stewart Dawson.
My name is Stewart Dawson, and I'm from around Dallas, Texas.
And you fly this Constellation, so...
I have been flying this Constellation. It's been in overhaul or redo for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm. So how are you the only one flying it, or is it that?
No, there's other people that are rated in the airplane and can fly.
Okay, so it's four engines. What's it like to fly this thing?
It doesn't get any better. I mean, how could it? I mean,
this was the airliner in the early 1950s.
Well, it was some, but it was in the military, and it was a corporate airplane, so it's been a lot.
All right, but I mean, in the early 1950s, this was what most of the airliners used.
Yeah, some of the airliners used it. But, I'd like to say a lot of the military had it.
Right. So it's a good plane to fly. You're happy to be able to fly it?
I don't know of much better.
Thank you, Stewart. Several different models of the Constellations were produced, although they all featured the distinctive triple tail and the dolphin-shaped fuselage. And now we spot a Lockheed U-2. It's an American single-engine, high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft with a wingspan of over 100 feet. I remember when Francis Gary Powers, an American pilot, was shot down over the Soviet Union in 1960. I also remember when Adlai Stevenson, the United States ambassador, confronted the Soviet ambassador about the missiles in Cuba with the photos from a U-2. And I had a chance to talk to Jon Huggins.
Hey, I'm Huggy. I'm Jon Huggins. I'm a U-2 and T-38 instructor pilot at Beale Air Force Base. I started flying the U-2 in 1989 and flown it for the better part of that time here. And flew a lot of operational missions. I retired in 2014, and in 2020, the Air Force offered me to come back as a civilian instructor pilot, the U-2 and the 38, and I did. It's by way of the orange flight suit, a throwback to the history of the U-2 pilots from the 60s and 70s when they wore orange flight suits. and I work in the 1st Reconnaissance Squadron, oldest squadron in the U.S. military, and I teach the new crop of U-2 pilots that are flying the U-2.
So are they still flying the U-2?
What's that?
Are they still flying this aircraft?
Oh, we didn't tow this thing down the highway.
Right, right. No, I mean, are they still using U-2?
Absolutely.
Because this is the one that they flew over Cuba to spot the missiles that created the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes,
62.
that was an older version of it, but yes, this
Right.
airplane, yes.
Right. And now, what about the XR-70?
SR-71.
71. Now, they still flying that, right?
No, they retired those long ago, back in the 90s.
They replace it with anything or just depend on satellite?
No, they depend on us.
Oh, they depend on...
Yeah.
Okay. So
We have a lot of capability in this aircraft.
Right. And what's the altitude you usually fly?
Above 70,000 feet. About double an airliner.
Right. So you had a great career with the Air Force?
I did, and I've renewed it now. I've been back with them as a civilian instructor pilot for 5 years, so total of about 33 years so far flying jets for the Air Force.
So how many hours do you have?
I have just a little under 1,000 flights in the U-2, about 2,700 hours in the U-2, and about 4,200 hours in the T-38.
That's great. Thank you.
All right, my pleasure.
Thank you, Jon Huggy Huggins. And now on Boeing Plaza, we spot the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning. This is a single-seat, single-engine, stealth, multi-role combat aircraft designed for air superiority. It also has electronic warfare and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability. This aircraft has 3 main variants. The conventional takeoff and landing is the F-35A. The short takeoff vertical landing is the F-35B. And the carrier base for the United States Navy is the F-35C. This F-35 Lightning II and the F-16 Fighting Falcon are protected on Boeing Plaza by the Wisconsin Air National Guard. The F-16 Fighting Falcon is a single-engine, supersonic, multi-role fighter aircraft originally developed by General Dynamics for the United States Air Force. Designed as an air superiority day fighter, it evolved into a successful all-weather multi-role aircraft with over 4,600 built since 1976. Both of these aircraft are considered fifth-generation fighters, including major technological developments during the first part of the 21st century. As of 2024, these are the most advanced fighters in operation. It is great to spot American air power at the EAA AirVenture 2025. And now we're going to look at part of the air show. This air show on Monday, July 21st, starts out with the Missing Man Formation to honor Rob Holland, a renowned aerobatic pilot who died in a plane crash on April 24th, 2025. The crash involved his experimental MXS aircraft, and he was the only person on board. And now we can see Nate Hammond, famous skywriter and aerobatic expert. He is flying his 1956 deHavilland Chipmunk, which has been specially modified for air show aerobatics and skywriting.
An experienced aviator and aerobatic performer, Nathan has amassed more than 9,000 total hours of flight time
in more than 50 different kinds of aircraft. Today he serves as one of the world's last remaining professional skywriters, performing at aerial events across North America both day and night. Flying this deHavilland DHC-1 designed originally as a trainer for the RCAF, we're in for a display of low-level aerobatics in this most classic air show airplane. Especially growing up in an aviation family with experience flying aircraft ranging from World War I biplanes to corporate business jets, his absolute favorite type of flying is what we're seeing now. Plus, the motion into the vertical for his next maneuver. Skywriter and international air show performer, Nathan stays busy performing at everything from air shows to music festivals. Using well-known stuff systems, checking the lightweight oils and exhaust. Each of the skywriting messages can stretch more than 10 miles wide at an altitude of more than 15,000 feet. It is from this altitude where it can be difficult to spot Nathan's airplane from the ground, but the message is high above. Give it the worthy name of the Ghost Rider.
I want to end today's show by bringing up an historical fact. As you may or may not know, President Trump has brought up the subject of Greenland. No other presidents in my lifetime, not Nixon, Kennedy, the Bushes, Reagan, have ever brought up the subject of Greenland. As we look at Virginia Ann, a C-47 from California, this aircraft is owned by Barrett and Coleman Fate. I talked to the son, Coleman, back in 2019, and he told me all about the 75th celebration of D-Day. 75 years going back to June 6th, 1944. We're now looking at Placid Lassie. Here's another aircraft that participated in the anniversary, the 75th anniversary and the 80th anniversary. And they brought up the subject of the North Atlantic route. I've never heard of the North Atlantic route, but it was a route that mainly single-engine fighter aircraft took to get to Europe during World War II. The route went from Connecticut to Goose Bay, Canada, on to Greenland, then to Iceland, and then to Scotland. Last year, I talked to one of the pilots of Placid Lassie, Ben Smith, and he's going to tell us all about this North Atlantic route.
Squadron, the whole idea is to get together and work as a team. So we all got in there scattered across the country. So we gathered in Oxford, Connecticut to give people time to fly across the country and meet us. And we can work as an operation together. Get up, brief, fly a mission, get information, land, debrief the mission. Work all that together so we're working as a team together. We got up the next morning and started the Blue Spruce route. So we went from Connecticut through to Presque Isle, Maine. When you're burning 100 gallons an hour, U.S. fuel at U.S. prices is better than Canadian fuel at twice that cost. So, well, that's cheap fuel, relatively cheap fuel. From there, you're going to Goose Bay, Labrador. You're trying to get up as high as you can in Canada because the next leg is to go over to Greenland. And that's another.
And that flight, from what I've read, is 770 nautical miles.
Okay. It's a long leg.
Right.
Over cold water.
Right.
So you have to think about that logistically when you're bringing multiple airplanes. From there, it's basically land, refuel, and then go to
Iceland.
And from there, you can go to wherever you want to in Europe.
Thank you, Ben, as we see one of the C-47s flying over Normandy from 2019. And now we spot one of the two Goodyear blimps. These Goodyear blimps are not really blimps after all. Blimps have no internal frame or support of their envelope or bag. Wingfoot 1 is a semi-rigid aircraft, but not a complete skeletal frame. The Zeppelins, like the Hindenburg, had an entire structure or rigid frame. Goodyear is celebrating 100 years of flying blimps. They began to fly these blimps in 1925. For more information on the Experimental Aircraft Association, go to www.eaa.org. EAA.org or EAA.org/AirVenture, and make plans to join us in 2026, July 20th through the 26th. It was a great day in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. To contact me, and I love to hear from my audience, is teamdan45@gmail.com. Remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action, Dan Schmitt Politics, to learn what makes America great. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum. They're in Winnemac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson on Indiana Highway 39. But give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles. And if you want to pick up your copy of the Team Chicago History Package, go to Rich's Yamaha in Lockport, Illinois. But give them a call first at 815-838-8130. Their website is richesyamaha.com. Pick up your copy of the Team Chicago History Package. If you want to learn everything there is to know about motorcycles, there's nothing like going to a swap meet. Here's a few dates: Martinsville, Indiana; Woodstock, Illinois; Morris, Illinois; Shepherdsville, Kentucky; Princeton, Illinois. Go to walnexswap.com for more info.